In this video, we are going to solve this exercise. When we are solving this exercise, we have to take in consideration the global and function execution context, different phases of execution context, and the difference when it comes to var, let, and const. So let's start with the first code snippet. We'll get this code and paste it here. We'll make it a bit bigger so we can just see it properly. And the first thing that always happens whenever you're executing any piece of code is a global execution context gets created. So we'll create a global execution context here. The global execution context will first go through declaration phase. In declaration phase, we only look for declaration. And here on line number 1, we see a variable declaration, but this time we are using the keyword let to define the variable. So what is the difference between defining a variable with let and var? So let's see what happens here. So when we create a variable with the name num in declaration phase, when you define it using var, the variable gets initialized with undefined. But when you define it using let, nothing happens. The variable doesn't get initialized. And one thing to notice is you cannot use a variable that is not initialized. So this variable is not initialized yet. So we are done with line number 1. Moving on to next line, we see a function declaration called square. So let's go ahead and do the same thing for function. And nothing is going to change for function because function knows that it is a function. So square is the name of function and it knows that it is a function. We'll skip the next 2 lines. We'll move on to next line where we are defining another variable 100 and we are using let to define that. So again, what will happen with that is we'll create a box with the name of 100 and because it is created with let, it will not be initialized. And I'll repeat again, you cannot use a variable that is not initialized. And at last line, we see a console log that is not a declaration. So we'll change the phase from declaration to execution and we'll start from line number 1 again. And here on line number 1, we see a value of 21 being assigned to a variable num. So 21 will be assigned here. We'll move on to the next line. Here we see a function declaration. We'll move on to this line. So here we see a value coming out of calling a function square is assigned to variable named 100. And we know what happens whenever you call a function, what that thing is. So that is a function execution context gets created. So I'll create a function execution context of a function named square. So square will be called. Let's look at the definition of the square here. Here, square will go through the declaration phase and the first thing we see as a declaration is a variable or function declaration. Here, even parameters are considered to be a variable declaration. So we'll create a variable declaration here. The name of that is num and the value will not be initialized. And the value here, we can either think of it to be defined with let or var. Based on that, we can do anything. So let's just think and keep it normal. Like function parameters are defined using var. So I'll just initialize it with undefined. So declaration phase is over. We'll move on to execution phase. In execution phase, we are passing a value of 10. So the value of 10 will be assigned to variable num. So in execution phase, 10 will be assigned to variable num. And here we are saying return num multiplied by num. So we'll look at the value of num for the first time. And here we see the value of num is 10. So it will be 10 multiplied by 10. And at last, what we will return from here is 100. So 100 will get returned and we know what happens with that is the value will be assigned to the variable 100 assigned, and as soon as that happens, the execution context for square will get deleted. Now at last, we are moving on to last line, that is console log 100. So when you are logging the value of, so here there is a function execution, and when we execute a function, what happens? A function execution context will be created. So let's go ahead and create a function execution context. This is a function execution context of console log, and here we are logging the value of 100. And the first thing we'll do is to look for the value of 100. So we'll go into our own memory, we'll not find it, then we'll go out again to the parent, and here we'll look at the value of 100, and that is 100. So in console log, we'll see the value 100. So here I'll just go ahead, and this is our console, put the value 100 here. And in this way, the execution context of console log will get deleted, and finally, this is the state of memory in global scope we have. We have a variable num with a value of 21, square is a function, 100 contains a value 100. So in this way, we are done with the first code snippet. Moving on the next code snippet, let's go ahead and do the same thing here. So we'll go down, paste the code here, make it a bit bigger, so we can just trace it properly. The first thing that happens is a global execution context will be created here. That global execution context will go through declaration phase. In declaration phase, we look for declaration only. So here on line number 1, we see a declaration using the keyword var. So the first thing that will happen is a box will get created. The name of the box is num. And because the variable is defined using var, it will be initialized with undefined. Moving on to next line, we see another function called add5. So we'll create a box, name it add5, and we know that it is a function. Moving on to next line, we see another variable called 5. So we'll create a box, name it 5, and we are defining it using var. So it will be initialized with undefined. Moving on to next, we create another variable called 10. So we'll name it 10, and it will be initialized with undefined because it is declared using var keyword. Moving on to last line, it is not a variable or function declaration, so we are done with declaration phase. So we'll move on to execution phase. Start from line number 1 again, and here the value of 21 is assigned to the variable num. So undefined will be overwritten by the new value 21. Function declaration will be skipped, and here we see a value coming out of calling a function add5 is assigned to variable 5. So what happens when you call a function? A function execution context gets created. So we'll create a function execution context of add5. And if we look at the definition of the function, we see a declaration in. So we'll create a box because it is in declaration mode. The name of the variable is in. The value will be initialized to undefined because we have talked about it earlier that we will consider all the parameters as declared using var. Now here we are saying a return in. So in this way we are done with declaration phase. We'll move on to execution phase. In execution phase, the value of 0 will be assigned to the value of n. So the value of 0 will be assigned to n, and here we are saying return n plus 5. So we'll look at the value of n. We'll go to the memory. Here we'll look at the value of n, that is 0. So we'll say return 0 plus 5. And at last, we'll return the value 5 from here. And whatever is returned from here will be assigned to the variable called 5. So 5 will be assigned here. So as soon as that happens, the execution context for add5 will get deleted, and we are done with this. Moving on to next line, we see another function declaration, but this time with a different value. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing. Let's just go expand it so we can just see it properly. So we'll create a function execution context here. This is again going to be an execution context of add5. So this will go through declaration phase. In declaration phase, we are looking for declaration only, and here we have a variable called n with a value of undefined. Value will be initialized to undefined. Moving on to, so declaration phase is over. We'll move on to execution phase. In execution phase, the value of 5 that is coming from here will be assigned to the value of n. So now the value is 5, and here we are saying return n plus 5. So the value of n, to look for that, will go into the memory, and here we see the value 5 here. So it will be 5 plus 5. And here 5 plus 5 will become 10, and 10 will be returned from here, and that will be assigned to the variable 10. And the value of that is 10 right now. As soon as that happens, the execution context will be deleted, and we'll move on to the last line, and that is console log 5 and 10. And we know that what happens when we call a function. So we'll go ahead and create a function execution context here. In the execution context, we are looking for two values, two variables, 5 and 10. So when we are looking for 5, we'll go into the memory, look at the value of 5, that is 5. And 10 will be 10. So the value of 5 and 10 is 5 and 10, and that we will see in console log. And as soon as that happens, the execution will be over. And finally, in our global memory, the state that we will see is a num is a variable with value 21, add 5 is a function, 5 contains a value 5, and 10 contains a value 10. So in this way, we completed the execution context for this code snippet. Let's move on to the next code snippet here. So we'll copy this code, paste it here, we'll make it a bit bigger. And the first thing that happens whenever you create an execution context, so the first thing that will happen is a global execution context will be created. The global execution context will go through a declaration phase. In declaration phase, the first line we see a variable declaration called marks. So we'll create a box with the name of marks, and because it is defined using let, we'll not initialize it to anything. Moving on to next, we see another function declaration called multiply array by n. So we'll create a function declaration here. This is a function declaration. The name is multiply array by n, and we know that it is a function. Moving on to next, we'll skip all these lines and go to the last line, that is numbers. So we'll create another box. The name of the box is numbers. It will not be initialized with any value because it is defined using let. So declaration phase is over. We'll move on to execution phase. In execution phase, here we see an array is assigned to the value of marks. So that we'll paste it here. So this is the value of marks. Moving on to next, we'll skip all these lines and go to the last line. Here we are assigning whatever getting returned from multiply array by n to the numbers. So we know what happens when you execute a function execution context will be created. So we'll create a function execution context inside the global execution context. This is the function execution context of multiply array by n. Now, this multiply array by n will go through declaration phase. In declaration, we see there are two variable declaration, array and n. So let's go ahead and create two boxes here. The first one is array. It will be initialized with undefined. Similarly, we'll move on to the next part, that is n. That will be initialized with undefined. Moving on to next, we see a final array, a variable named final array. So we'll create another variable box. The name of that box is final array. And at last, final array, and it will not be initialized with anything is because it is defined using let. We'll move on to next line, and we don't see any other declaration. So declaration phase is over. We'll move on to execution phase. In execution phase, we are assigning two values to array and n. What are we passing from here? So we are passing only one parameter from here. So second will be ignored. So one parameter is marks. So undefined will point to marks now because it is non-primitive data type. So array points to marks, and marks is an array like this. So going on to next line, here we see a final array initialized with an empty array. So final array will be initialized with an empty array. That will put it outside like this here. Going on to next line, here we see a for loop. So for loop will be executed inside this execution place. And here we are starting with let elm of array. So for of operator gives us one element at a time. So for the first element, we'll get access to the first one, that is 34. So we'll have a value 34. So we are saying final array dot push elm multiplied by 2. So here elm multiplied by 2 will be elm multiplied by 2. We are looking for the value of elm. Here for of operator will give us the first value of elm, that is 34. So it will be 34 multiplied by 2, that is 68, and 68 will be pushed inside final array. Again here if you just go into details, this is again a function call. So another function execution context will get created and that will push the value inside here. So the value of 68 will be pushed by that function. So once that is done, we'll move on to the next execution one after another. So next value is 45. When it is multiplied by 2, it will become 90. Similarly, 56 will become 112 and 76 will become 152. So in this way, we will be able to complete this, and this whatever getting returned from here, so whatever we are returning final array from here. So final array is the value of 68, 90, 112, 152 in an array will get returned from here, and that will be assigned to numbers variable here. So whatever getting returned from here, so this is the value getting returned from here. So we will assign the value of this to the variable numbers, that we can see it here. As soon as that happens, the execution context for multiply array by n will be deleted, and finally in our global state we see three different variables or functions. Marks points to an array with a value 34, 45, 56, 76 in an array. Multiply array by n is a function, and we have a variable called numbers with a value of 68, 90, 112 and 152 in an array. So in that way, the execution context of this will be done. Moving on to the next, and here we have this code snippet. We'll try to create a code snippet. We'll try to create an execution context for this code. Let's paste it here. The first thing that will happen is a global execution context will be created. In the global execution context, we'll go through the first phase, that is declaration phase. And in declaration phase, we only look for declaration. This is not a declaration, so we'll move on to this line. What do we see here? We see a function declaration. What is the name of the function? The name of the function is counter. And counter knows that it is a function. So what will happen is declaration phase is over. We'll move on to execution phase. In execution phase, the first thing we are doing is executing a function. So we'll create a function execution context here. This is a function execution context of counter function. And whenever you execute the function, we'll start from this line. This will also go through declaration phase. In declaration, we see a variable named count here. So we have a variable named count. The value will be initialized. The value will not be initialized because it is defined using let. Later on, we see another declaration, that is function called increment. So we'll create another box with a function of increment. And we know that increment is a function. Moving on to the last line, we see it's not a declaration. So we are done with declaration phase. We'll move on to the next phase, that is execution phase. So in execution phase, the first thing we see a value of 0 being assigned to a variable count. And at last, what we are doing, we are saying increment and call this function. We are calling a function again. So what will happen? Our execution context will get created inside the execution context of counter. So it will be smaller like this. This is the execution context of counter function. So when you're going to execute that, it will also go through declaration phase. In declaration, we don't see any declaration here. So only we see is count plus plus, and we have to return that. So declaration will move on to execution phase, and here we are saying count plus plus. So first thing we will do is to look for the value of count. So for that, we will go into our own memory. Will we find it? No. So then we'll go to the parent. We will find the value of count to be 0 here, and here we are saying 0 plus plus. And we know how 0 plus plus works, or increment works. So what we are going to do is 0 plus plus will return the value 0 and increment this value to 1. So that will get returned, and that is what will return from this function. So 0 getting returned from here, so I'll just point it out saying 0, and nothing, we are not doing anything to that variable. So function execution context will get deleted, and finally outside we don't see anything. We just see a counter that knows that it is a function, and a value that is returned from function execution context, and we are not doing anything to it. So that will be garbage collected. Let's move on to the last piece of code snippet and try to execute it and see what is the difference between function declaration and function expression. So again, we'll do the same thing. Like the first thing that will happen is a global execution context gets created. It will go through declaration phase. In declaration, we don't look at execution. So here we look at the declaration. And what will happen with declaration here? We have a variable declaration called counter. And because it is defined using late, it will not be initialized with any value. And we are done with the declaration phase because there is no more declaration. Moving on to execution phase. Here we are calling the value counter. So whenever you are calling the value counter, you're saying counter. So what is the first thing it will do? It will look for what is counter. So it will go to the memory and see, okay, what is counter? We have seen that you cannot use a variable that is not initialized. This one is not initialized, so it doesn't know what counter is yet. And that's why when you call a function in this way, it's not a function at all. So it will throw an error saying counter is not a function. Let's just try to see the output, and then we'll try to understand what is happening here. Oh, sorry, there is a spelling mistake here. So we'll fix that and do it again. So when we do that, it says that counter is not defined. So here there is no value assigned to counter, and that's why it is throwing an error. So it will throw an error. Let's just fix this. So we'll just go ahead and write this will throw an error. Let's just try to understand it better now. So here, let's just try to compare these two parts here. So we see that in this case, counter is a function declaration. And here in this case, counter is a function expression. And that is the difference between using a function declaration before defining it and using a function expression before defining it. So in case of function expression, it doesn't know what value it is. But in case of function declaration, it knows that. And that is the difference between function declaration and function expression. So in this way, we are able to complete this exercise